wasn't asking for you to find a statement that was true in all four cases. That's impossible. But the next thing would be a syllogism. Syllogism just means you put statements together to form an argument. And so when you're looking at this example here, which is probably the most famous, all men are mortal. That's an A statement. Men are mortal, right? The second statement is actually an A statement also, because Socrates is a man. You might think, well, that's a particular statement because you're just talking about Socrates. But we're actually talking about all of the things that are Socrates. Did you have, Alan?
No.
No? And then, so therefore, the last statement is also an A statement. Socrates is mortal. So that's also an A statement because everything that is Socrates is also mortal. And that's considered valid, deductive. It's an example of a perfect argument, actually, according to Aristotle's system. And in fact, that one is considered to be AAA, because there's three A statements, and it's in figure 1. Figure 1. So notice that this page in Wikipedia, so, if you're thinking, gee, where can I get books to read all this stuff? Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? How it keeps going.
I didn't know if you noticed, I'm sorry.
That's for those who are quick scan readers, there's just, and that was going backwards as well, right? But so as you're reading this, you could see all the different points about where logic came from. Boethius. Oh, well, these are later people. So here's the basic structure. So when we look at the way Aristotle defined a syllogism, you have two premises. And by the way, they have to have three statements. So if you have an argument that's just one statement, cows are dumb. Cows are dumb. Cows are dumb. I'm just getting annoying, actually, right? I'm not actually arguing. I'm just yelling and screaming that cows are dumb. No, that's not an argument, right? Cows are dumb, horses are smart. You hear me? Cows are dumb, horses are smart. That's still not an argument. I'm still just ranting, right? But if I say cows are dumb, horses are smart, I'm going to have trouble with that one. It's not a very good argument. But I need a major premise, which is the top one, a minor premise, which is the second one, and then the conclusion is the third statement. If I have 4 statements, that doesn't work. I need 3. So I need and as a result, this becomes, when they say it's a categorical proposition, these A, E, I, O statements are all categorical propositions. So it's a proposition, like a sentence, a statement, it's just another word for it, right? And you're relating 2 categories. So it's a categorical proposition. By the way, I should give you an opportunity. Are there other statements that could be true or false besides categorical propositions, you think? The answer is yes, right? So how do we explain that in Aristotle's system? The answer that seems most likely to me is that other statements can be true or false, but are compound statements. So if I say, you're wearing a sweatshirt that says fear of God. So someone in here is wearing a sweatshirt that says fear of God, but no one else is wearing a sweatshirt that's saying fear of God. That's true? True statement? yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. What you said.
That's just true, right? How do you know, by the way? For Aristotle, how do you know? You compare what the statement says to reality, right? And there it is, right? So we just look and we see, yes, that statement is true, right? It's called the correspondence theory. The statement corresponds to the facts, right? Easy, actually, right? Well, how did that much more complex statement work? Well, what Aristotle would point out is you added two statements together. So it's a compound statement. Both statements that are added would be actually a single statement type, as he explains, right? And then I use but, which is a conjunction, right? You know, I added another statement. So I actually have two statements in one compound statement. You could do that. You could just keep adding. But if you're going to try to figure out if that statement, that compound statement is true, what we always do is check on all of the atomic statements that make up that big compound statement, right? And if that statement is true, and that statement is true, and that statement is true, and we link them all by saying and, so that we know it's a requirement that every single one of those statements that you can join are true, then the whole thing is true.
It's almost like you have to dissect it and validate to categorize.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, it sounded a lot smarter than I did.
I sound like a much better speaker in my head. And when I listen to a recording of myself, I realize instead of that tremendous voice that I have in my head, I'm a whiny little shit, you know, and that's annoying. However, yeah, I think of something to write. When I sit down and try to write it, it's gone. I don't know what happens. Okay, but I mean, you can get into more and more of that. But basically, for Aristotle, you just have syllogisms. But you can put syllogisms together, and you end up with a sorites. Sorites is Greek for a pile, basically. So you basically can pile them up. And we actually have contemporaries who do this. I remember one year I listened to President Bush, the younger, W, right? I heard W give a State of the Union speech, and I analyzed it, and it was AAA1, 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 all the way down. So his speechwriters put together a speech for him that was as boring as Aristotle, basically, right? And how does that work? So you have all humans are mortal, all Greeks are et cetera, et cetera. You can see how that works.
Was polysyllogism the additive form of syllogism?
Well, yeah, poly means more than one.
Okay. I didn't know if it was.
Officially, they call it a sorites. And there's actually even a paradox associated with sorites. It's called the paradox of the heap. And that's, you know, if I have a grain of sand and I put that on the table, do I have a pile there? We never say yes. We always say, no, that's just one grain. I put 2, 3, 4. When does it become a pile? We have no official amount of grains of sand before it's officially a pile. It's just at some point we know, now it's a pile now. Is that fun?
Yeah, my brain is saying like, can you have syllogisms that are false?
Yes. You wouldn't call a syllogism false.
Yeah, that's right, okay.
Syllogisms are either valid or invalid. Now, I know in everyday speech we often hear somebody say, yeah, that's a really big whale. And you say, that's a valid statement. I know what you mean by it. but officially in logic, you shouldn't refer to a statement as valid or invalid. Arguments are valid or invalid. Statements are true or false. So you wouldn't say a syllogism is true or false. You would just say that the argument is valid or invalid. Statements are true or false. Now we're looking here at another way of analyzing the whole thing. Notice it's referring to the prior analytics. So if you're looking for where that comes from, okay. So here's the figure. So I can have (256) possible syllogism forms. And the reason for that is because I can have a syllogism that's an AAA statement. I can have AAE, AII, EEE, III, OOO. I've got 4 different letters, right? So I can have 64 different arrangements of 3 statements. And then we have these figures. So there's 4 figures. So 4 times 64 gives you 256 possible syllogisms. But only 24 of them are good as far as Aristotle is concerned. All the rest are bad. For example, if I give you an argument with an I statement, an I statement, and an I statement, no matter which figure I put it in, the argument will be invalid. Won't convince anybody of anything, right? The argument that is AAA in the first figure is named Barbara. So there's a cheat sheet of sorts that the monks invented to help you remember which ones are the valid forms. And Barbara, notice, has 3 A's, A, A. So Barbara is a way for you to remember the syllogism that's AAA1, AAA in the first figure, right? But you get 256 possible forms, but most of them are invalid, right? Of the ones that are valid, you get the list here. Figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4. What is the figure? Well, when you're looking at a syllogism, if I have a figure 1, right? So all S is P. Oh, I don't want that. I'm going to start off by saying all of the middle term is P. In the second statement, I want to say all of the subject term is P, is M. Sorry. And then my conclusion, you might draw a line or something, and you say all S is P. So when I look at an argument, someone gives me an argument, first thing I need to do is figure out what's the conclusion. Once I figure out what the conclusion is, I figure out, is the statement in the right order? Yes, it is. Okay. Then the right side is the predicate. That is the major term in the argument. That's the major term. And the subject of the conclusion is the minor term. You come back to the other 2 premises and you figure out, okay, where is the minor term? So here it is. And this should be the second statement. This is the conclusion, right? So the second statement is the minor premise because it has the minor term. And the other one is the middle term. It's called the middle term because it doesn't end up in the conclusion. It's instead in between, in the middle, between the subject and the predicate of the conclusion in the argument. So we use the middle term here and the major term. So this is the major premise, and this is the major term. The major premise contains the major term. Easy, right? And then you have the middle term. So notice what I have is a figure where the middle term is on the top left and the bottom right. So top left, bottom right. Right? If I had figure 2, the middle term would be on the right side in both statements. If I had figure 3, it would be on the left